It is still a captain, Billy Bremner.
The cup goes to Billy Bremner and Leeds United.
Billy Bremner is still the only man to have led Leeds United to victory in the FA Cup final. That was 15 years ago. But now Bremner is the man hoping to pilot Leeds all the way to Wembley again. Leeds' preparation for Sunday's semi-final against Coventry may have seemed hardly ideal, a gruelling duel in the mud at Hull. But Bremner is the first to say that Leeds' priority is to get out of the second division. So how much does reaching the semi-finals mean to him?
I feel good, but not as I did as a player at that particular time, you know, and maybe as the week goes on and leading up to the semi-final, the adrenaline will start flowing again and you get more excited about the game. To go up the steps is enjoyable, but it's more a numb feeling you've got. You don't realise it until after the event what's taking place. I mean, predominantly in my mind, walking up the steps was the feeling I was going to get when you turn to your own fans with the trophy, because I'd seen so many people do it, and I felt it must be a tremendous thrill there. And that was the biggest thrill, actually, turning and showing the cup to your supporters.
Do you think from all your cup experiences that you're now well equipped for your team talk on Sunday at about 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I've been asked that since we've got through to the semi-final, you know, will you be able to calm the lads down or whatever. I don't think we'll be able to give them as much advice about a semi-final as we can do. I mean, I've played overall maybe about 20 semi-finals and Europeans and different things. But really, it's your own experience, what you gain. And my biggest fear, well, not fear, but what I hope doesn't happen on Sunday is that we play well below our usual performance. And sometimes that can happen, because sometimes when people get to a big occasion, as the semi-final is, they can freeze a little bit. And I hope that we can play to the best or near our best performance. And if we lose in circumstances like that, then I won't be too disappointed.
Ironically, perhaps, Bremner's role in the Leeds midfield will be filled tomorrow by the son of one of his greatest adversaries, John Stiles, son of Nobby. John can't get into the team for league matches at the moment, but is automatically recalled for cup ties due to the ineligibility of Mark Hazelwood. And it was Stiles who set Leeds on their way to the semis with a sixth-round goal at Wigan. John has his own special memories of that Leeds-Arsenal final in 1972, after which his uncle, the great Johnny Giles, gave him a magic moment he'll never forget.
It was a great day for me. It's as vivid now, I suppose, as it was then. I just remember we were sat in the stand and they just won the cup, so we were all delighted. And my Uncle John, he come over to the touchline and waved myself and my cousin Michael down onto the pitch. So we went down onto the pitch and walked across the hallowed turf, and I remember looking up and seeing thousands and thousands of faces. Then we went down and he took us into the dressing room and we saw the cup and went up and touched it and all this. Yeah, I remember it really clearly.
It's a lovely story, that.
Good story, but I would get absolutely lynched if I tipped Coventry City, saying they're all going for it.
But to win simply because their opponents, Leeds United, are from the second division. But on Wednesday, Leeds were at Hull, and the goalless draw threw up a few pointers. One is that former West Ham favourite Mervyn Day is now reproducing the match-winning saves that helped West Ham to an FA Cup triumph in 1975. Goalkeepers, of course, need skill and luck on their side, and on Wednesday's evidence, Mervyn's luck is in at the moment. Leeds have experience in attack as well, with Andy Ritchie quite capable of taking on defences single-handed. And there's a youthful element about Leeds as well. Nobby Stiles' son John was only sub at Hull, but he's useful in that role, or indeed on from the start. As for manager Billy Bremner, Leeds skipper in '72, well, his memories of semi-finals are nearly all good ones.
Yeah, I've played in, I think, 6, and I don't think I've played in a good one. They're not very enjoyable to watch, I don't think, because there's too much at stake for both teams, because they're only one away from Wembley. So it's usually the team that fears losing the most, usually the team that lose anyway.
So it's really a question of who has the most confidence going into this one game?
That's right. It's the team that don't fear losing as much as usually the team that comes out on top.
If I could go back to your first semi-final in the FA Cup, way back when the Leeds team was really making its first impression in 1965, you played Manchester United and drew, and there was a replay at the City Ground, Nottingham. Does your mind go back that far, Billy?
It's a long time ago, but I remember the game. And it was I think it was a free kick for Giles, he nearly finished. And everybody swears I tried to header it back across the goals again. I'm still convinced that I tried to header it in the net. But everybody knows what a notorious liar I am.
And you also scored in the final that year against Liverpool.
Yeah, that was a disappointment to us, because that's probably the only final, real final, we didn't play well in. We let ourselves down badly that day. But I remember that goal. You remember all the goals we scored, particularly when you score as few goals as I did.
Now Bremner, he's equalised. There's Billy Bremner, the man who scored so many important goals.
But 5 years later, actually, you played Manchester United in the semi-finals again. It was another very tight affair. This time there were 2 draws, and the third match went to Burnden Park, Bolton. And again, the winning goal came from a certain Mr. Bremner.
Yeah, I happened to be, particularly in a lot of the big games, I happened to be in the right place at the right time, because basically that was my job, to try and get up in support of Alan Clark and Mick Jones. And I think it was another ball in from the right half position. I think it was Clarkey this time went up for it, and it bobbled down just nice, and I happened to be in the right place again, and took us through to Wembley.
If we could just move on 3 years now to a semi-final I remember very well, Main Road, Manchester, 1973, Leeds versus Wolves. Again, very little in it, and in the second half, the winning goal.
Well, there again, like I said, I just seemed to be, because it was my job to be up and support all the time, and it was another one, it got played in again, and I think it was
Mick Jones
this time, yeah. And I think it bobbled off Jonesy in the centre half, and I happened to be handily placed. And hit it, I think, with my left foot, so I played the joker that day. So that got me the goal.
Lolliman. Jones trying to feed on it, Bremner! 1-0!
Have you, as a manager, having surprised yourself by getting this far, allowed yourself a little tiny thought about the possibility of leading the side out at Wembley as a manager, having done so often as a captain?
Not really.
Come on, be honest.
In all honesty, John, I haven't thought about Wembley. Give it it would be good for the team. It'd be good for the town. It'd be good for particularly for the players, because we have some talented young players. But all I'm concerned about, if Leeds United get back in the First Division, that's the main criteria at the club. Everybody's desires Leeds to play at First Division football. And if I had a choice, I've been asked the last 2 or 3 weeks, if I had a choice, it would be to be playing First Division football rather than to be at Cup Final on Wembley Day.
Well,
It's episode 2 of this FA Cup final semi-final weekend. Today, Coventry City, without a major trophy in the 104 years since they were born, face second division Leeds United, themselves trying to recapture the glory days of the early 1970s. And what a setting for this match. Over 53,000 fans packed into Hillsborough here in Sheffield. And the reward for a victory today, a place in the cup final on May 16th against Spurs, who demolished Watford at Villa Park yesterday.
Both teams on here at Villa Park on their last FA Cup semi-final appearances. As Clive Owen turns well. Driving in a shot. Oh, Plumlee lost it. What's going on? He scored. 11 minutes gone. Plumlee couldn't hold it. Clive Allen. Oh, the goal! Off the Dweller. Paul Allen. Still Allen going all the way. He's found the corner. Ardiles. Hodge with a shot. One score, 2 for Hodge. Plumlee beat. And the header is in from Allen. Oh, it's no more than a consolation, surely.
Allowed guest this afternoon, Spurs manager David Pleat. Have you recovered from the victory, David?
Yeah, I think so, Ian. It's one we've got to take in our stride. We've got 10 games to go before the end of the season, so we've got a lot to do and a lot to think about.
Yeah, but you must have been happy the way the boys played.
Yeah, I'm delighted for the boys and for the club and the chairman and everyone, yeah.
Now, this big game today, you obviously, big interest for you, you're playing the winners. How much of Leeds have you seen?
Very little, Ian. I've seen them over the years, but not this season. I know the players. Seen more of Coventry City, obviously.
Well, this is Leeds United when they played Wigan in the Cup. A goal came up here from John Stiles, Nobby Stiles' lad. Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I think it was a very windy day and very difficult conditions, and they had a hell of a job to get that one away. But I'm sure Nobby would have done a jig of delight on behalf of his son for that goal.
And this is the second goal, Mickey Adams.
I think it just opened up for Adams. Normally he's a very left-sided player, very left-footed player, but he had no option. He goes and goes and goes, and in the end it's with his right foot, and that's it. They're through.
Yeah. I gather Mickey will be playing left-back this afternoon.
Yes, he'll know a little bit about the Coventry boys. He's and he'll have a great spur to do well. I think he is a Sheffield boy, so and he'll know more than anyone about the Coventry style of play.
Well, you know a little bit about Coventry as well, obviously, more than you do about Leeds United. Now, Cyril Regis has been getting a lot of headlines, David, and I think, you know, quite justified, because, I mean, he's been playing superb stuff this year.
He's had an exceptional season. I think that Mr. Sillett and Mr. Curtis really got stuck into him early on in the season, and he's very powerful, and he's got great skill to go alongside his power.
This actually was against you, wasn't it, in a 4-3 game?
Yes, sadly. But you see the elation on the supporters' faces here. They're almost running onto the pitch. A normal league game, but it was a magnificent finish to a great game, that.
Yeah. So as you say, you know, they look a powerful side to me, Coventry.
They look a very strong side. They named the team early for this game. They've had a settled side in the league. They've got a very settled back line. Peake and Kilcline are very strong and don't give anything away. I would have thought they'd be strong favourites, particularly if they managed to get in front early.
OK. Well, with that, let's join our commentary team of Ron Atkinson and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Ian. A quick chance to check on the teams before the kick-off, with Coventry, Steve Grizovic in goal, a back four of Brian Burrows, Brian Kilcline, the captain, Trevor Peake and Greg Downs. In midfield, there's David Bennett, who with Manchester City, and David Phillips with Plymouth. They've both played in FA Cup semi-finals. Alongside them, Lloyd McGrath and Nick Pickering. Cyril Regis in attack, and Keith Houchin, who seems to reserve his best moments for this competition. Leeds have the only man in the match with a winner's medal, goalkeeper Mervyn Day, with West Ham 12 years ago. A solid back four, John Stiles, Nobby's son in midfield, with David Rennie and the very promising John Sheridan. Andy Ritchie will give some width to the attack. Two big men, Ian Baird with 17 goals, and John Pearson, who started his career here at Hillsborough with Sheffield Wednesday. The pitch, believe it or not, has been heavily watered this morning. Some 4,000 gallons have been sprayed onto the playing surface. And the winds that swept the north of England yesterday have dropped, so the conditions are good. But tense, anxious early moments. And it is a semi-final, sparkling with romance. Coventry, so often the Cinderellas in the First Division, looking for their first invitation to a Wembley ball. And Leeds United, such a mighty club in the Don Revie days, with a team which is making their supporters, who've lived on past glories, think now about the present. Jack Ashurst with the free kick, looking for Pearson. Brought out by David Phillips. Here's Bennett. The same Coventry side that won here in the quarter-final against Sheffield Wednesday. Mervyn Day, Wembley's youngest goalkeeper back in 1975. Can he get there again? Here's Baird, support from Stiles. David Rennie wearing number 11, who's basically a central defender but anchoring midfield today. Baird, who's having an excellent season. Neil Aspin on his 22nd birthday. Ritchie. Baird's gone to the near post, and Pearson comes in. A great save of Grizovic. Baird! A wonderful piece of goalkeeping. John Pearson, who's not scored for Leeds in the 13 matches he's played for the club. But it was the sort of cross that he thrives on. And Grizovic somehow kept it out. And Baird, trying to snap up the rebound, was crowded out by two defenders. Grizovic has been a giant in Coventry's goal in every sense this season. And he's first to the ball there again. Ron Atkinson.
I must say, Martin, the start that Leeds have made has surprised me. I expected them to be flooding the midfield, trying to scramble Coventry a little bit. But they look as if Billy Bremner stoked them right up in the dressing room. And as we nearly saw there, they look as if they're going for the jugular straight away.
Who had to postpone his wedding, which was scheduled for today. Here's Lloyd McGrath, who'll probably stay close to John Sheridan. Brian Burrows trying to forge a path forward. Styles. Leeds had one or two problems this morning. Their coach developed a fault. Some doubt as to whether they'd actually be able to get to the ground at the appointed time. But once here, they have settled well. Baird. And it's another corner. Mickey Adams, signed by Leeds from Coventry in January. He was left out of the Coventry squad for the third round of the FA Cup. Now, lucky for him, he wasn't cup-tied. Aspen. A lot of room here for Styles. Brendan Ormsby has stayed forward, had the cross been played deep.
Yes, we thought before the game, didn't we, Martin, when we saw the two teams arrive, how tense Leeds looked. But certainly there's been no signs of that at all. They're playing with lots of confidence, albeit we've only just started. And at the moment, Coventry really aren't at the races.
Semi-finals are won and lost on individual incidents, and I wonder at the end of the match how important that save from Steve Grizovic will turn out to be. Styles. Greg Downs there before Ritchie. Semi-finals full of hopes and dreams, some of which will come true, and some today will be shattered. Pearson. Here's Ritchie. Baird is ahead of him down the touchline. It's Styles breaking from midfield, and Baird is offside. Very hard to hear the whistle from the referee, who is Roger Milford. Roger Milford from Bristol. Reading. Kilcline a little unsure of the bounce. Brian Burrows turning away to safety. Kilcline didn't really want it. Another little sign there of some Coventry nerves. A club that has waited for so long for a chance of playing in an FA Cup final. And on paper at least, starting this semi-final as favourites against the second division side. Ron Atkinson, you've seen quite a lot of Leeds United recently.
Yes, I must have seen them nearly half a dozen times this season, and they've got better, Martin, as the season's gone on. I think the pairing of Baird and Pearson's been good for them. It doesn't look an ideal pairing on paper, two big lads together, but it seems to have worked well for Billy's.
Well, their captain, Brendan Ormsby, overhitting the back pass beyond Mervyn Day. And Coventry presented with a corner. Brendan Ormsby took over the leadership when Ian Snowden was sold to Everton. Nick Pickering to take the corner. Phil Klein waiting towards the near post. Ashurst who met it somewhat tentatively. Well played, Ritchie, buying his side a little bit of time. Oucher. With great determination. Bounce misjudged by Styles, and Bennett's got him behind him. Regis calling it for it to be played early. And Bennett rather took one touch too many. The nervy moments have in fact made for an exhilarating beginning, with mistakes defensively at both ends. Crisply laid off by Ritchie. Baird, who's a powerful runner, is not frightened to knock players about. Here's Ritchie again. Aspen up with him. Well, Andy Ritchie has tasted semi-final drama before with Manchester United. That was way back in 1979, when he played in a winning replay, then missed out in the final. He was 13th man as Manchester United lost to Arsenal. Regis. Whistle gone. Ron, I noticed you had a word with Cyril Regis, who was a player, of course, for you. Very successful days for him at West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, we were just talking about when he played against Ipswich in '78. He was a kid then, and he froze. Today, he looked right before the game mentally, and that last little touch he's just had there will give him a little bit of confidence.
You told him to go out and play properly. Downs with the free kick. Kilcline won it, and it came behind Regis. Day grasping it as Houchin, his old teammate with Orient, was moving in menacingly. If you've just joined us, 10 minutes played at Hillsborough. Coventry City 0, Leeds United 0. Tottenham waiting for them at Wembley. Brian Burrows on the ball here. He's personally had his best season in league football. John Sillett, chief coach who's in charge of football matters at the club, is a little concerned about both his fullbacks at the outset of the season. Both have come through with flying colours. Burrows and Greg Downs. Here's Burrows again. Styles in the way. David Phillips. Houchin. Downs making a run to the left of Regis, and Ritchie played it back, and Houchin was balked by Ormsby, who just took a pace into his path. It was professional defending. Ritchie's back pass was under-hit. More credit to David Barber, the groundsman here, and his hard-working team, who have offered a surface perfect for an FA Cup semi-final. Ritchie. Not only missed out with Manchester United in 1979, he played in the quarter-final for Brighton in 1983 and then was sold to Leeds before they progressed on to the final. And Brighton, of course, were beaten by Ron Atkinson's Manchester United. Ritchie seeing a lot of the ball in the early stages and bringing some useful experience, Ron, to bear.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's got terrific feet. He may be a little bit short of pace to be a really top player, Martin, but he's got good feet, and he joins in well. And I think he's had a big impact in the opening minutes there.
Styles. Burrows doing the chasing. It's a Leeds ball. Leeds United 7th in the second division. Everyone at Ellen Road saying that the main priority is to get into a playoff place and hopefully win that place back in the first division. McGrath. Overhit by Ashurst. Styles. Help from Baird. And here's John Sheridan, arguably the best passer in the Leeds midfield. And seeing the opportunity there to accelerate and try a shot. It's brought another corner. Plenty of speculation around Sheridan as to whether he might be moving on. But Leeds and Billy Bremner very anxious to keep him at Ellen Road. Rennie! Goal! David Rennie! The second division side break through. And Coventry's marking was all over the place. Rennie made his run and was away from Lloyd McGrath, and it powered past the Grizovic.
Brilliant header, Martin, but as you say, on every corner they've taken, Leeds at the moment, they've had spare men in the box. I've just been having a look at that. I can't understand Coventry's defensive situation at the moment.
So Leeds United rewarded for their pressure. David Rennie with his first goal of the season. What a time to score it. 14 minutes into an FA Cup semi-final. Ritchie. And Grizovic this time couldn't come to the rescue. Coventry, who've been so chirpy in the build-up to this match. They've had a season where the sun has shone on Highfield Road after perpetual fights against relegation, but it's the Leeds supporters who are roaring their side on, they hope, towards Wembley. A long way to go yet. Houchin. Feature of Coventry's play in their improved run has been their willingness to knock the ball into feet, to have a measure of control in their football. That will be a little bit harder to achieve now, having gone a goal down. Pickering. Rennie doing the job defensively. Ormsby is there. Looped forward by Regis. Ritchie, good running from Baird, who's managed to stay onside as well, ahead of Sheridan. Ritchie. Leeds continue to get their strikes in on Grizovic's goal.
They've actually, Martin, they haven't won a thing in the middle of the park at the moment, Coventry. Pickering, Phillips, and Lloyd McGrath, who's a very, very good young talented player. They haven't got any sort of measure of control in the game. And at the moment it's Ritchie, Sheridan, Rennie and Stiles dominating the match.
The Yorkshire setting suiting the Yorkshire club. And they've conceded a free kick. Kilcline. Adams a little short of stature in those type of situations. He's got to deal with the ball in the air again. Does it at the cost of the corner. It's to be taken by Bennett. Pickering in by the near post this time as they work it short between Bennett and Burrows, and now David Phillips. One for Ormsby to deal with, and in fact Houchin got the better of him, and no one could feed for Coventry from the flick. A real talisman, Keith Houchin, in the FA Cup. 3 goals for Coventry this season. Memorable one, of course, for York City in a giant killing act a couple of years ago against Arsenal. A last-minute penalty then. Stiles. Away by Pickering. Useful first touch by Houchin to hold the ball up. And through his endeavour, Coventry have the throw. Coventry's only previous major semi-final was in the League Cup in 1981. And they lost out to West Ham. Flicked it on. Regis is there. But the referee's blown for a free kick. And Ron, some Mexico memories here. They're doing the wave at Hillsborough.
And rightly so. I think it's a bit like Mexico, isn't it? The weather, the atmosphere, good crowd, hopefully on the best behaviour. Just looking at the Coventry side, Burrows hasn't really got a responsibility with Leeds playing with no left-sided player, Martin. I think I'd be asking more from him to sort of try and make attacking runs and join Bennett, support Bennett more at the right-hand side.
Kilcline into the back of Pearson, a free kick to Leeds. Minutes gone. And a splendid 20 minutes for Leeds United. Pearson wants some help. Adams obliging. Ormsby and Grizovic performs heroics again. It stays at 1-0, and Ron, it could easily have been 3 but for the goalkeeper.
That's exactly right. What's happening, there's no marking whatsoever in the Coventry defence, and I'm including the front players in that. Like Big Cyril was back there marking Ormsby. As soon as the ball got played around, he went missing, left him completely unmarked.
Pulled away strongly by Houchin.
There might even have been a suggestion of handball there.
Well, there certainly was from the Leeds supporters, Ron.
I think they might have a just cause as well. Houchin took a hell of a gamble there.
Baird. Here's Ritchie. Baird able to come deep. Get the ball and turn, but he's given it away on that occasion. Regis, a run on here against Ashurst, who's trailing. It's a typical Regis move, but not a typical Regis finish. shrugged Jack Ashurst aside then. And overpowered him, really. And then, when faced with Mervyn Day coming off his line, he blasted it past the target. Ron Atkinson.
That was vintage, Cyril, up until the finish, as you say, Martin. I think possibly he took it one stride too many. I think possibly he should have been looking to hit there. He's taken it again and probably shortened his angle a little bit. But that'll frighten the Leeds defence a little bit. They'll see the power and pace of that big man now.
And Ashurst, in fact, inside the penalty area, put his arms out as if to try and pull Regis back. And thankfully, from his point of view, he didn't really make enough contact. Cyril was just too strong. Baird. Here's Aspen, and it's opened up ahead of him. Houchin having to plug the gap.
I was saying earlier, Martin, I've seen Leeds play a lot this season, and this is easily the best I've seen them play. Their control and composure has been amazing, because I thought they would try and scramble the match, as I say, and frustrate Coventry. But they're not. They've gone out and played them in the manner that even like the great Leeds sides used to do.
Grizovic trying to fight his way through the pack, and he was bundled down.
Even on that corner, Martin, Rennie was left completely unmarked. Houchin came back with the responsibility, but once the ball was crossed, he left Rennie completely on his own.
Beaten once, but two absolutely marvellous saves by Grizovic. And how exposed goalkeepers are in FA Cup semi-finals, I'm sure Gary Plumley, all his gallantry, will testify to that. Coventry City have developed a tremendous team spirit this season. They've been given the encouragement by their management to enjoy themselves. That team spirit is tested now. Downs with the throw. That looked a push by Houchin on Ritchie, and that's the way the referee saw it. Kilcline climbing on Pearson, but an advantage played by the referee. Baird. Good tackle by Houchin. He really has done as well as anyone so far for Coventry, but not in the areas where really he's paid to perform. Kilcline tracking back, offering himself as a target for balls played from defence. Keith Houchin very much in the match. Ormsby, collected by McGrath. Kilcline and Houchin waiting at the far post from Pickering's viewpoint. It's a corner. Pickering. Houchin lets it run. Burrows. Burrows doing well to get in the cross. Bennett, and The whistle again pulls up Coventry short. With some 18 minutes of the first half remaining. Leeds United of the second division, leading Coventry City of the first by 1-0. Phillips slipping Adams. He was impetuous to say the least in his attempt to get back Mickey Adams. Phillips withstood the challenge and cut the ball. Sheridan, Ritchie in a lot of room. Grizovic was aware of the danger and has showed presence of mind which will settle down those in front of him who've been so caught up in the tensions of an FA Cup semi-final. Coventry just haven't defended like they can. It's been one of the strengths of their season. Reorganised by John Sillett at the back. Bennett gets the better of Adams. And Regis didn't know a great deal about it. Leeds were scrambling as Bennett threatened and threatened down the Leeds left and had his old teammate Mickey Adams twisting and turning. It bobbled across and Regis trying to just turn it in, could only turn it wide.
Yeah, it's a half chance, Martin. Well done to the lad Bennett. He did what he's good at, attacking fullbacks. And I think Coventry could possibly learn a lesson from that. They haven't got to go all haywire and start chasing the game. There's a long way to go yet. They've got to keep the discipline, keep the shape, and just keep playing. And first is make sure that Leeds don't get another goal first and foremost.
Couchin. Again having to do the chasing. Regis. It's deflected and over the goalkeeper who was already on the edge of his 6-yard box and over the bar as well. Coventry City gradually coming to terms with the occasion. Overkill Klein, Burrows, Phillips who can shoot from distance, but opts instead to use Bennett. Couchin beaten by Aspen and Rennie together. Peake. Burrows with the cross. Adams in the way, but no relief at the moment for Leeds. Burrows again. Sensible header down from Rennie, an arrogant touch from Sheridan, but David Rennie's strength really isn't in his passing necessarily. He was over-ambitious there. Couchin played it beautifully as Ashurst caught him. Regis! Let off for Leeds once more.
Yeah, it's going everywhere, but in the back of the net for the big fella at the moment. And look at this. Great piece of football leading up to it. Good early ball from Phillips. And he's thrown himself in. And once again, on a good day, that would have gone for him. But it's like I said, you get the impression, Martin, that the Coventry front three are capable of taking the Leeds defence apart. But the most important thing is, and I keep stressing it, they don't all go daft at the back and start flying all over the place and conceding another goal.
Couchin was hurt, having flipped the ball on to keep that attack going. And Ron, you do sense that there's greater pace in the Coventry makeup.
Yes, in a funny way, the goal and the second save of Gruzovic may have helped them. They realise now that they've got to go They've got to go positive. They can't wait for the game. But at the same time, they've got to do it with an amount of caution. They've got to do it in the system that's taken them so far this season.
But after being on the rack, Coventry have freed themselves. Bennett. Now David Phillips. Finding it difficult to get their challenges in. Bennett had run it behind. I don't know whether Sheridan had heard the whistle. In fact, the decision is a foul. Maybe he heard the whistle for that. Bennett was impeded. And Leeds United in some danger again here. Pearson back defending. Reclaimed by Phillips for Coventry. Greg Downs can hit them with his left foot. Rennie gave him no room to do that. Ritchie. And McGrath overstepping the mark. And he is the midfield hustler. Taken the lead, Leeds United have been riding their luck. And as so often in games that are in danger of being spoilt by tension, as semi-finals often are, an early goal does change the whole shape of things. It's done that here. The first half thus far has been packed with incident. Opportunity at set plays, whether it's a long throw or a corner. Kilcline comes forward. He's waiting on the edge of the goal area. If Downs can throw it that far, maybe he can. And Kilcline's presence wins the corner, behind by his marker Pearson, who'd come back with him. Baird didn't get it very far. 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Coventry City 0, Leeds United 1. David Rennie after 14 minutes. Well, Ian Baird in the game's vernacular does, Ron, put himself about.
Yeah, he's very, very aggressive, gets suspended about twice a season, but he is a very much improved player in my book. I've been well pleased with him, or well impressed with him over the last few games I've seen him play. Billy Bremner certainly fired him up, and he's made him into a good player. Looking at it, we're talking about semi-finals, Martin, normally, as you say, full of tension, but I think I've seen more goal-scoring opportunities at both ends in this game than I think possibly any semi-final I've seen.
Maybe since yesterday, Ron.
Well, I would argue that there may have been more in this.
Burrows. It's become a more harrowing first half for Mickey Adams. Rather exposed to the runs of Bennett without too much midfield cover, as Ron Atkinson was saying earlier. Two are at it again here. Burrows, Phillips, whip it in first time into feet of Houchin. Ritchie sent flying by Lloyd McGrath. McGrath's come through the ranks with Coventry, and they're celebrations at Highfield Road. Their youth team already through to the FA Youth Cup final this season. Adams making his way a little early forward after the amount of defending he's had to do over the last 20 minutes or so to take the corner, as he did, from which Leeds United took the lead. Phil Klein flicking it away from Pearson. Sheridan. Now Ritchie. Broken up by McGrath. It's won back by Styles, and Ritchie was looking for a gap inside that top corner between the junction of post and crossbar. But John Styles won it then, Ron, like Nobby would have been proud to do.
Yes, I mean, he's had a good start to the game. I mean, that's not his normal strength, aggression. He's a passer of the ball, perhaps not as quick and as busy as his father was, but certainly there he broke it up, and he's paid the penalty for it by the look of it. Because I think if he was involved with young McGrath says go when the ball's 50-50. As I think Brian Robson's found out once or twice. To get back to the shot, I'm not so sure whether Big Oggy left that one, you know. If it was remarkably good judgment.
John Styles trying to do what his father never did. That's play in an FA Cup final. Nobby played in 5 semi-finals. He's a loser 4 times, and when he was a winner, he was left out of the final team in 1963. John getting treatment there from Alan Sutton, the Leeds United physiotherapist. Floating to the left-hand side, where Pearson was waiting just ahead of him. Styles. Ritchie again. And that was perfectly weighted for Neil Aspin. Sheridan. Baird's gone to the far post. Sheridan couldn't provide the cross. Bennett. Sides impressive in their movement off the ball, and for the most part with their passing. And it has led to an exhilarating spectacle. 5 minutes left in the first half, plus stoppage time. There might be a little bit of that. Baird. And whether he got the call from Styles or saw him, was well found. Adams. And he's given it away. Bennett. And Burrows surging forward again. And then he's moved across to try and cover that area. Ouchin. And it's Phillips with a deep cross. Aspin able to divert it away. I'm sure he's going to remind us more and more of Jack Charlton as he gets older. Neil Aspin. Not Jack's height. Coventry City striving here for an equaliser before half-time. Bennett. Houchin, and when he shoots in a cup tie, you tend to think it's going to end up in the back of the net. But really, Ron, Mervyn Day hasn't made a save, and the ball has flown wide of his posts over his crossbar, and his goal is still intact.
I would think if before the game Coventry felt they'd have had as many good situations to score from, and as you say, haven't forced the keeper into a save yet, they'd have been very, very disappointing. That's possibly the fourth good situation they've had in the first half.
Trevor Peake to take the Coventry free kick. He's always aiming for Kilfine. Out by Adams. Back from Phillips. Regis, such a handful when he's on song. Ron, there have been a lot of theories. Where did Cyril Regis really lose his way?
I always go back to when he played for England against West Germany at Wembley when England got beaten, and I actually thought Cyril was the best player on the field. Substituted just before the end, and I don't think ever got picked for an England squad again. I think he lost his drive for a year or two after that. And plus the fact maybe he's played in sides where they've struggled, to be fair, they've struggled a little bit. But now he seems to have all his old zest back for the game.
Time whistle would come as some relief to Leeds United. Aspen. Calmly tidied up by Adams. Pearson in there again.
But I think that long ball down the middle from Mervyn Day shows the little bit of indecision still at the heart of Coventry's defence. I mean, you had Burrows, who's not the best header of the ball, taking Pearson, who's about 6'3", whereas the skipper Big Kilcline should be picking him up.
Times in the air for Coventry, and McGrath with two to his left. Bennett and Houchin underhit the pass. Regis coming deeper to get involved. Burrows, pressed back by Sheridan. That's good work from Leeds, and Sheridan in particular. Stoppage time, the end of the first 45 minutes. Ashurst. Downs. Sheridan defending on the edge of his area. Ormsby. Rennie and Ormsby rather left it decisively to each other for a second till Rennie took the initiative. Sheridan. Now there are 5 forward for Leeds here, but the pass perhaps was asking too much of Baird. Alert defending by Peake, and Pickering now with a run at Aspen. Roger Milford waves play on. Checks the game with his stopwatch about the amount of stoppage time. Regis. Half-time, a first half full of cut and thrust. David Rennie's splendid 14th minute header, left unmarked but beautifully finished, giving Leeds the advantage. Steve Grizovic helping Coventry undoubtedly in that phase with 2 other marvellous saves. But since then, Coventry have found some of their rhythm, but they found no luck around Mervyn Day's goal, and they still have it all to do in the second half. So at a half-time in the FA Cup semi-final at Hillsborough, it's Coventry City 0, Leeds United 1.
Some mornings it's nice to share something special at breakfast. The beautiful new range of breakfast sets. From Colour Roll, of course. There's a new lager around that's so light, anything else seems just heavy. It's called Miller Lite, a new Pilsner with a cleaner taste, because more of the sugar's been turned to alcohol and goes down so smooth. Anything else seems just heavy.
The taste is keen, it's Miller Lite. It goes down clean, it's Miller Lite. It's not heavy, it's Miller Lite. It ain't heavy, it's Miller Lite.
Hello, Arnie. How's the tobacco bar in the D block then? Mustn't grumble. Here, quick. Slip us some of your cigars like you did last week. Yeah, sure. Only I don't smoke them usual mild cigars no more. I've changed to these new Castella Classic, which are that bit wider. Which means even greater mild, smooth smoking enjoyment, but they're about the same price. You got to try them. Oh, you can't, can you?
New Castella Classic. Now the choice is wider.
It's lovely out, you know.
Do you know me? I haven't been acting myself lately.
Excuse I, Possum.
Sometimes I get lost in my work.
I'll have them both.
Wherever I am and whoever I am, I shop with the American Express card. With this, I can almost always buy what I want. It says a lot about the real me.
The American Express card. Why not apply today?
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Oh no, the dreaded roller. Wait a minute. Dulux Solid Emulsion. Funny looking paint. My mistake, it's cream cheese. Goes on nice and even though, and not that splattery judging by his head. He can't be finishing already. Very good. Better check the finish. Good stuff, this cream cheese.
Dulux Solid Emulsion. The paints rollers have been waiting for.
Once again, Midland Bank is putting £1,000 million behind Homeowner Plus, a mortgage service that gives you an agreed mortgage before you go house hunting, almost like a cash buyer. And until June the 30th, allows you a year's interest reduction of 2% on a new secured borrowing scheme for major purchases. Homeowner Plus increases your Midland access limit for 3 months and gives you the first 3 months of our home and contents insurance absolutely free. Midland Homeowner Plus. More than just a mortgage. A complete home finance service.
Morning! I wonder if I can interest you in life assurance. Abbey Life offer very reasonable terms if you'd just like to sign here. Thank you.
For unit trusts, health schemes, pensions and life assurance. Bet your life you'll thank Abbey Life.
Well, what a cracking first half, David. You were saying before the match that you wanted an early goal from Leeds to give the game a lift, and you certainly got that.
Yeah, it's really opened the game up in. It's been action-packed from first to the last minute there in the first half. And we've really got a tremendous game on hand second half, because Leeds have really defended with tremendous resolution, and Coventry have thrown everything at them.
Yeah, but the goal in itself, you know, when we can have a look at it now, you said to me at the time you thought that McGrath was a bit slack in his marking.
I think it was McGrath, I mean, it was a fierce, fast corner, and Rennie got there first. I think that it was McGrath that possibly should have been with him, but it was a superbly driven ball, very fast ball, very difficult to defend against.
Well, in the early part of the game, it was all Leeds United, wasn't it? And Big Oggy was called upon to make a couple of very good saves.
I was surprised how well Leeds got into the stride, you know. I mean, they didn't go out there looking as though, or feeling in the way they played as though they were underdogs. That was a superb cross by Ritchie. He was really impressive early on, and a magnificent save. And maybe there he would have felt that he might have been a slightly quicker bed to get that goal, but Ogrizovic did brilliantly.
And then after about 20 minutes of Leeds pressure, you know, all of a sudden Coventry seemed to settle.
Yeah,
Big Cyril came into the game.
Yeah, Cyril Regis had a terrific spell, really, where he was making chances for himself. And I thought that Day, particularly, on this particular incident, stood up very well. After he's gone past Ashurst, Day stands, waits to the last possible moment, gave very little angle, and Cyril hastily blasted it past the near post.
Yeah. But at that particular time, Cyril had 2 or 3 efforts, didn't he? And he started causing them all sorts of problems.
Yes, I mean, he's got pace and strength, and you see Leeds have defended very deeply so that he isn't able to get a run past them. But in saying that, I think Leeds at times must start working the ball again to release the pressure from the back players.
Yeah. OK, well, let's just go away from the action for a moment and join a man who is a very interesting spectator here today. He's Nobby Stiles, ex-Manchester United, and his son John, of course, playing here this afternoon for Leeds. And he's down in the tunnel area with our commentator, John Helm.
Well, Nobby, it must be a source of great pride for you today, watching your son playing in an FA Cup semi-final.
Tremendous, tremendous. I hope they keep the look. They're having the look, I think, at the moment slightly. And I hope he keeps going, because I never had any look at Sheffield anyway, so I hope so.
But the game started tremendously well for Leeds, and Steve Ogrizovic really kept Coventry in with 2 marvellous saves.
I thought they settled very quickly, and I thought they played really well. And as you say, he made a great save. The game could have been over in the first 15 minutes, 3-0. But having said that, they've come back great, Coventry, and it could be 3-3.
That's right. I mean, and Leeds was living on the nerves a little bit towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think if you set a pace like that, though, it's got to drop a little bit, and you know, the chances they didn't put them away, they made good saves, and then they let the side back, and I think the passing went a little bit because they got tired, and I think if they keep working at it, hopefully it'll go just their way.
How do you see the second half going?
I don't. I'm just going to sit there on the edge of the seat and keep my fingers crossed and hope it goes for them.
Nobby, thanks very much indeed.
Watching the game with his eyes closed in the second half. Well, we'll take a break, but stay with us. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with more action.
For 1987, Ford introduced an improved Sierra hatchback. A better Sierra Estate. And a brand new Sierra Sapphire Saloon. The new Sierras go like they look. They're better equipped. They've loads of space. And even features like anti-lock brakes are available. The Ford Sierras for 1987. Now, we're 3.
Every year, thousands of small businesses start up with NatWest's help.
Good luck.
But as your business takes off, you may find yourself needing more equipment, or bigger premises, or even advice on exporting. So you might just be glad of our help again. This year, NatWest managers will make at least 150,000 visits to our customers with the help and advice a young business needs. We won't just help you get your business off the ground. We'll help you keep it there. Whatever you want from NatWest, press for action.
The moment you wake up on a Trust House 40 Hotel's leisure break, you'll find your normal routine has changed. Everything from getting the breakfast to making the beds, from doing the shopping to watching the big match and then planning what to have for dinner. Why not turn an ordinary weekend into something special? From around £25 a night each. For a free brochure, ring Free Phone Trust House 40 now. Ask for room service.
Why don't we do something together for once? I know. Let's stay in this evening and have a quiet drink.
Not a bad idea.
We could have a few nice friends around. Yeah. Well, that's agreed.
Right. Skull. Horribly good lager.
A street, a sound is the start of the day. It's the heat of the road, it's breaking away. A kiss, a glance, it is hot, it is cool. A smile, a chance, it is breaking a rule. It's just how you feel when you know it's for real. It's a hit, it's a Coca-Cola, is it?
Welcome back to a sun-drenched Hillsborough. Leeds United trying so hard to bring back those glory days of the late 60s and early 70s when Billy Bremner was a player, but now the players he managed have a 1-0 half-time lead against Coventry City. Adams. Pearson. Leeds began the match so brightly, and they're trying to do the same at the start of the second half. Sheridan. So the goal from David Rennie after 14 minutes, and he's not in the team in second division matches at the moment because Mark Azelwood has been signed from Charlton Athletic, who's not eligible for the FA Cup. Burrows. Far too close to the goalkeeper, the cross. Billy Bremner down on the touchline for the second half. An extraordinary FA Cup semi-final record as a player, when he scored the winning goal in semi-finals for Leeds on 3 occasions. But his team, having taken the lead and dominating the early phases of the game, have found Coventry a handful since then. Clipped forward by Downs. Skimmed the head of Mickey Adams. Coventry attacking the goal in the second half, behind which all their supporters are massed, or most of them. Some 20,000 Sky Blue fans on the Hillsborough Kop. Pickering. Bennett. Leeds couldn't push out quickly enough to play him offside, but they needn't have worried because the attempt to reach the players beyond the far post was unsuccessful for David Bennett. So the Coventry fans on the Kop, the opposite end from the quarter-final, and the club was successful here. But Leeds United have been specialists on Sundays in this competition. They won in the third round against Telford, of course. A lot of publicity, not all the right kind, surrounding that game. They were scheduled to play Swindon in the fourth round on a Sunday, and that was postponed, in fact, and they beat Wigan in the quarter-finals on a Sunday. Alan Sheridan presiding over the free kick. Burrows trying to hold off Styles. McGrath. Pickering was aware that there was a player outside him, Houchin. But Pickering, in fact, taking his eye off the ball. Didn't see a tackle coming either. And he was down hurt for a second. And play on. Baird. Surely not. Sheridan trying to explain to Downs exactly what had happened. Maybe there was a word of apology in there as well, because it was, in the end, a foul against the Leeds player. It's a match you daren't take your eye off. Styles. Rennie should have been told, and Styles hadn't helped Dave Rennie initially, and then they went for the same ball, and Leeds were able to deal with the problem. Mickey Adams played for both sides this season, and playing here in his hometown of Sheffield, where he used to be a Sheffield United fan. Sheridan. Bennett. Phillips looking for Regis. Well, Ashurst didn't let the ball find him. Regis was caught waiting. Rennie from that holding position in the centre of midfield. Pearson, well found by Sheridan. And just as Coventry have the advantage of the roar from the Kop when they're attacking, Leeds are well favoured at the Eppings Lane end of the ground. Grizovic was balked, but there was some pushing also at the back post. So Steve Grizovic will have happy memories of this particular goal. It was from this end that he scored here earlier in the season in the league match against Sheffield Wednesday. And the irony is, there was a gale force wind blowing that day, I must say, but the irony is that Grizovic, by his own admission, is one of the weaker kicking goalkeepers in the First Division. As well as the praise from his teammates, he got a lot of ribbing as well. See how far it goes this time. Sheridan neatly laid off to him by Baird, but Ritchie had started to go and realised he'd gone too soon and gone offside. Ron Atkinson, what do you think was going through Billy Bremner's mind during his half-time team talk?
Well, knowing him, I think he'd be as busy in the dressing room as he was in midfield. He'd be chivying everybody up, telling them that they mustn't freeze and mustn't back off the game. And they certainly haven't since the second half. They've been the better side as they were in the first opening period of the first half. And I think that's what he's been doing. He's been busying them and encouraging them to try and get the second goal.
I've been very impressed this week how he's taken the pressure off his players by obviously fielding a lot of the media inquiries himself as a great old FA Cup warrior. And all he said to them is, I don't mind if you lose as long as you go out and play well. And they've certainly done that. As soon as he played it too quickly, realising his error. John Sillett in the commentary camp. Maybe more on him in a moment, as Houchin might set something up for Coventry here with Pickering. And Mervyn Day will remember that last season Nick Pickering put a hat-trick past him. Pickering was playing for Sunderland then, and he's not a prolific goal scorer. His only senior hat-trick was against Leeds United. But John Sillett, who's also kept Coventry so bubbly this season.
Yes, I think he's got to have been talking to his back four about tightening up on the Leeds front people. There's a first-class example. Leeds have been getting the Leeds strikers have been first to too many things. If they can tighten that up and be patient, there's always a chance they can equalise and go into extra time, because you know that's what semi-finals are about, aren't they? The wars of attrition.
John Sillett. Often there's a smile, but not at the moment. Pearson. Leeds have a corner.
I'll tell you what, Martin, if they don't sort themselves out quickly at the back, Coventry, this game can be beyond them in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Ritchie waiting right in the 6-yard box to try and distract Grizovic. But it's wasted by Adams on that occasion. 10 minutes gone, 35 minutes left. That's really the key statistic. It will seem like a lifetime for Leeds United. It will seem like 5 minutes for Coventry. If it stays the same, that is. Hillsborough's first FA Cup final since 1981. And it's the perfect theatre, really, for a match of this substance. Aspen penalised for a spot of obstruction. In from Phillips. Bennett. The only difficulty for Day in the end was that the ball took rather a low bounce from a fairly gentle header from the player who played for Manchester City against Spurs at Wembley in 1981. Well, if Leeds are using up a little bit of time, who can blame them? And then by Regis, until Adams stepped in.
I think there's a big danger that Coventry could get anxious, Martin, and try to hit the front people too early. Bennett was having a little bit of joy when he was combining with
Baird, Ritchie. There were 3 defenders around him. The odds were against him. And the referee decided that Ritchie was initially obstructing before he was pushed in the back. It was a decision that could have gone either way. Coventry have been away this week. Typical build-up for a big match down in Bournemouth, where they regard it as their lucky hotel. Well, they need a spot of luck now, or maybe a touch of inspiration, or perhaps a defensive error to get back into the game, which they've been chasing since David Rennie's header in the 14th minute. Pearson, who's given responsibility at long throws and corners for marking the space there around the near post, the tallest of the Leeds players. He's waiting there again as Bennett places the ball for the corner. Out from Styles. Ritchie and needing to play with Baird. Leeds on the charge here. Sheridan. Charging about up front like a steamroller, and the ball dropping his way again. There's much more deftness in his touch these days, Ian Baird. Ron Atkinson was making the point in the first half, and I'm sure that John Pearson's arrival, and Pearson hasn't been scoring goals since he came here from Charlton, but Baird just can't stop scoring. He's moved on to 17 this season. He's scored in each of the cup ties in which he's played. He missed the quarter-final through suspension. And he played a part in winning the free kick. But Adams leads for Sheridan, who can do a lot better than that. A lot of interest in him, Ron, this season.
He's played very well today. I was interested to see how he reacts, as this is arguably his first real big game, isn't it?
A Manchester boy too.
Yeah, Manchester lad. I think he's from Salford actually, and he's certainly reacted very, very well. You saw there where he went and got a short pass off his own goalkeeper. He tried to keep the tempo of the game down. He's trying to control the pace of the game, and he's done himself no harm if he's looking to move to another big club. An impressive performance all round from him.
Downs. They won it. Nick Pickering is clearly limping. And Coventry are warming up Mickey Ginn. Tackle, Greg Downs, and he was fouled after the ball had gone, and it was a tackle that the referee didn't like by Sheridan. Now Coventry are going to take Pickering off. In fact, Downs is back on his feet, so there's no injury worry with him, but the injured Nick Pickering gives way to little Mickey Ginn, who scored a crucial cup tie goal this season, the winner in the 5th round at Stoke. And it's worth reminding you that Coventry's progress has been spectacular. After a straightforward home win over Bolton Wanderers in the 3rd round, they've won away at Manchester United, away at Stoke, who are going so well, and then away here against Sheffield Wednesday. And Ginn makes his first contribution. Bennett. Regis has gone towards the near post. Kilcline coming in. It was Pearson who met it then. Burrows stabbed away by Brendan Ormsby. Peak. Well played. In fact, Bennett couldn't quite turn quickly enough. But what was important for Coventry then was that Peake didn't just want to hump the ball into the middle. With Coventry so anxious, they must stick to their tried and trusted method. And Day has lost it as he came what is now known as Grobbelaar style to try and deal with the long throw. Bruce really encouraged other goalkeepers to follow his example. Just got knocked by one of his own players and I think got a bang in the face.
Right, and I'd like to see Coventry try and get the ball out wider to Bennett a little bit more. I think, as I was saying earlier, I think in the first half he was responsible when they got the game going.
season, getting the ball into feet to Regis, who likes it there, and in fact has asked the other players to give him that service, and of course to Bennett as well.
Yeah, well, that's right, but I think what's happened this half, that whether they're anxious, every time Gruzovic has got it, he's lumped it up the field, and consequently he's just gone into a ruck of players, whereas when they're having their best moments early on, they're opening play up and trying to put their passes in.
Pearson kept it in his attempts to try and find Ritchie, and now it's out of one of those telescopic legs. Peak, that is just hit forward, and that was how Regis felt the team were let down in past seasons. Coming up to the 20-minute mark in the second half, and it's still Coventry City 0, Leeds United 1. One or two little breaks have gone their way, like that, with two players going for the same ball, but further forward they've been judicious in their selection of passes. Maybe holds the key to the remainder of the game. It's possibly the one between David Bennett here and Mickey Adams. Houchin, and that's the goalkeepers.
Well, you're right there, because Adams hasn't looked particularly happy when people have been going at him with the ball. He hasn't got a left-sided player in front of him to support, and he's spent most of this season himself, hasn't he, playing in midfield?
Yes, he's in the league. United are looking for second division points. He's on the left-hand side of midfield with Bobby McDonald, another of their cup-tied men, at left back. But Billy Bremner really has changed things around at Ellen Road with the money that he got for selling Ian Snowden to Everton. And how quickly, and Howard Kendall has made the point this week, how quickly those new players have bedded in. Still have the lead. That was handball by McGrath, but after he was pushed in the back by Sheridan. Kilcline was pushing, the referee didn't see it. Burrows. Talking about his greater confidence, Ron.
Yeah, he's worked back tremendously hard. There's a first-class example of how he's played for the team. He's worked back and helped defensively. Getting back to Coventry, I can't help thinking they're getting too anxious at the moment, and they're trying to just hoist the ball in there. And that's helping people like Ashurst and Ormsby, who have now become conditioned to defending.
Success. Just get a shot there of John Stiles limping slightly. If you spend any time with Coventry and their supporters, getting the feeling they thought that this would be their year. But if it's going to be, and they're going to go on to Wembley, something dramatic has got to happen, and maybe David Bennett has done it here. McGrath's missed it, Mickey Ginn hasn't.
Martin, what must Brendan Ormsby been thinking about there? He could have played the ball anywhere. Full marks to Benny for persistence, but look at this now. Centre half who hasn't put a foot wrong this half.
McGrath couldn't make contact, but Ginn found the corner. And Mervyn Day, you saw, look away there, furious with Brendan Ormsby. Because there's no way that he could allow David Bennett to do that. And Ginn, the substitute, has altered the complexion of this FA Cup semi-final. A goal after 68 minutes. So maybe their name is on the cup after all, Ron.
Well, they're certainly not going to be done any harm by that, are they? It looks as if they would fired all their best shots as well at Leeds. And Leeds look to be as much in control of the game as they've been at any given time.
So Bennett was the provider, and let's credit him with his persistence for not accepting that Ormsby was the boss in that situation. And Mickey Ginn, who's been on the field just a matter of moments, able to sweep the ball home after Lloyd McGrath had completely missed his kick in front of a gaping goal. Aspin, how will Leeds United respond? Wembley was seeming closer and closer. Styles, Sheridan looks to clip it, and that's within his capability. He's popped up with some cheeky goals this season. And those early saves from Steve Grizovic are thrown into even sharper relief. Performer, Hatchin, Regis in the middle, joined by McGrath, and that curved at the last, and it was good handling by Mervyn Day. I'm sure Hatchin in his mind was just trying to get the ball across the face of the goal. Bennett, it's been unrelenting. A quite magnificent FA Cup semi-final. Whoever wins it, Tottenham, sure to go to Wembley as the favourites, will have a fight on their hands. Baird. Gil Klein got the ball, no doubt in the referee's mind at all, and no protest from Baird. David Bennett is injured. Time when Leeds were looking to forge away through the middle with Ian Baird at the other end.
At this stage now, Martin, it's not so much the team that's the physically strong that will win it, it's the team that stays strong mentally. I mean, Leeds have just had a terrible setback there after being in control of the game, to virtually give Coventry a goal. Now it's a question, and the signs have been good for them since the equaliser. It's a question. Oh.
And that was over the ball from John Styles.
Yeah, we'll put it down to the fact he's not the quickest player in the world, I think, Martin. Give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But as I say, I think the team that stays strong enough now, mentally, will go through to Wembley.
Time to decide that. It may, of course, even take a replay, which would be here at Hillsborough on Wednesday. Blocked by Ritchie. Is it with an arm, or has it got to be taken? It was handball. because the ball is moved forward. John Sillett perhaps wanted to make that point. Ginn. Pearson got his head to it. It'll drop from Regis. And then Phillips. That's an awkward one for Day. Houchin has fouled him. Well, back in the 50s, Ron, and maybe you and I are now old enough to remember that. They charged goalkeepers into the net in FA Cup finals. Nat Lofthouse, if he's watching, wouldn't expect a free kick to be given.
If you look at that, though, he hasn't charged him. He's mugged him, hasn't he?
Sheridan. Can he unlock Coventry? Ritchie, who doesn't deserve to be on a losing side, has had an excellent game. Rennie, his contribution already in the record books as a goal scorer. And Baird prepared to run at Coventry. Sheridan. Ashurst, and not really enough angle on that, although Downs took his time in using the goalkeeper.
Really is incredible, Martin, that every time Leeds put some good passing movements together, how easily they carve up the Coventry defence.
Maybe the essence of the game is that on the day, the forward players have played rather better than the defenders on both sides.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think that's what's made it such a competitive and interesting game.
15 minutes away from the end of 90. Baird. Sheridan again showing great composure, and a pass might hold up for Baird. No.
I can't remember many semi-finals either, Martin, where there's been so much space on the field. Whether that's because both teams may possibly lack, with the exception of McGrath, aggressive midfield players, I don't know.
Ginn. Regis offside, Bennett. And Day's lost it, but the play will be pulled back. And although Houchin put it in, the whistle had long gone. No lasting damage, happily, for the foul by Styles on Bennett a minute or two ago. Hasn't had a lot of the ball, but on a number of occasions he's won the free kicks by simply just getting his body there before Kilcline. Ritchie. Corner. Houchin back defending. Brendan Ormsby has made his way up from the back. No one had to put the record straight more than him after the error that helped Coventry to their equaliser. Dealt with by Peake. Ashurst. Coventry a little slow pushing out. Downs, who'd been the last man right on the line. Leeds really weren't quick enough to realise they could have made more forward runs without going offside. That's understandable after the quite breathtaking pace of this match. Bennett got the better of Adams again, and they're wearing Leeds down on this side of the field. And Bennett, beautifully done. Houchin! And it was Adams who rescued it, because Houchin had a shot that seemed to be going towards an unguarded part of the net until Leeds' bodies were thrown into the line of it. Ginn is there, Houchin this time, and he's round Day, and he's scored, and Coventry City are into the lead, and Keith Houchin, who is the FA Cup specialist, is the player responsible. He sent them wild with delight. Cup run.
And that was really a very, very composed goal. But I think full marks to the fella on the ball now, Gentry's persistence.
Mickey Ginn isn't really in the commentary starting lineup at the moment because they don't feel he can do it over the 90 minutes. Well, he's made a short-term impact here that could mean Wembley for Coventry City. He's scored one and he's played a part in the second.
Yes, and
Keith Houchin, sorry Ron, just to cut across you there, but you can hardly credit it. 2 goals on this ground here against Sheffield Wednesday in the quarter-final, and what might now be the winner. But Pearson has other ideas. Baird was over-elaborate, and that was half a chance that slipped away from Leeds. And Regis can set Coventry ticking forward again with Burrows. It's falling apart for Leeds, and it's the outside of the goal from Regis. Ron.
On another day, that big man might just have had 3 goals, wouldn't he? You saw his pace, his power when the ball breaks clear. He's now got himself into a good position. I don't think he really needed to do a trick. He's trying to run through the keeper. I don't think he needed to be. I think he should have just slammed at the back of the ball. And I think his power would have taken the ball past Martin on past Irving Day.
Regis. Phillips. Leeds must be struggling to get their senses right. It looks as though they've been knocked out by a combination punch from Coventry City. First from Ginn, then from Houchin. Burrows. Bennett. Billy Bremner is going to make a double substitution. Number 14 on the left of your picture is Keith Edwards, one of the league's most prolific goal scorers, and Peter Haddock, number 12. Pearson comes off for Edwards. Bennett. John Stiles is the other player who's been replaced by Haddock. Sheridan. Baird put a foot in. Sheridan, in fact, is going to take the throw or leave it for Adams. Ashurst. Rennie. Now Ritchie. And he's beaten 2, Andy Ritchie. Edwards! Almost his first touch. A match that was always memorable has now become wonderful. Leeds United, with the fighting spirit born really of their great days. And all praise imaginable here for Andy Ritchie. The composure for the cross at the end of that run, and there's none better than Edwards when it comes to the matter of finishing. He's been doing it for years, more than 200 league goals, but he'll forget about all those in the face of this one. 7 minutes left.
It's incredible, hasn't it? He's been such a disappointment since he's gone to Leeds. I know Billy had high hopes of him because of his proven goal record. And there he is, he's scored a goal which could be worth £1 million to them if they can make the final.
£125,000 from Sheffield United, where he scored a lot of his goals, with Hull City as well. Never really in the big time, but he's in the big time now. Was high, and Burrows reacted understandably. It hurts when you have 6 studs embedded in your thigh.
I think you saw with that goal, Martin, didn't you? Some of the characteristics of Coventry's play today. Probably Richie should never have been allowed to get drift around the left-back area. And he's crossed into the box. He was completely unmarked, Keith Edwards, although there's a load of Coventry bodies in there. But I think they deserved it, Leeds. I think they deserved to at least make extra time. They played far better than I would have thought they could have done before the game.
To rewrite one of those old football adages about semi-finals being dour affairs. In different ways, the FA Cup this year has been blessed, the semi-final stage.
Well, this one's certainly been a smashing game. Obviously, yesterday was a little bit one-sided because of the situation. But this has been end-to-end from start to finish. A lot of commitment, and as you say, people have made mistakes, notably defenders. But from a sheer entertainment point of view, it's been as good a game as you could have wished to see.
Well, it's one you really don't want to stop, and it may not stop at the 90-minute stage. Sheridan. Grizovic committed. He doesn't miss much. Leeds backpedaling. Aston blocked it. Regis was beaten to it. Edwards, frisky as a lamb. It's bared through the middle, and Grizovic out of his area. In the midst of the hurly-burly of a semi-final, did exactly the right thing.
But Martin, can you believe the marking there for Baird? Baird is completely left up the middle on his own.
Andy Ritchie there, Ron. It's an interesting thing about his career. He's been on a week-to-week contract with Leeds for 22 months now. I think that's some sort of record. He's been on the verge of leaving the club on a number of occasions, and here he is, playing out of his skin for Leeds United.
I bet if they win today, Martin, he doesn't leave before the end of May.
Sounds to me, Ron, as though you've not got much sympathy for players who are on week-to-week contracts. Rennie.
No, I think from his point of view, I think he's one that isn't guaranteed a place in the team, is he, when all the players are fit, although he does tend to play most weeks. And if that's the thing that's keeping him buzzing, then I'm sure the Leeds manager will be quite happy.
We're 2 minutes away from extra time.
Which I think is something we would badly want to see, wouldn't we, Martin? I think the game has been that good and that exciting. I'd love to see another half hour of this.
Could not agree with you more. Alan Sutton being waved away. Coventry's throw. Phillips rushing across to take it. Day poised to make a charge, perhaps to make a catch around the 6-yard box, but he goes back, leaving it for Haddock to deal with. And Downs looking for a place in the sun, really. If that had gone in, we'd have never stopped talking about it.
Not one of Greg's better shots, is it, that?
Phillips. Now Regis. Houchin's still full of running. Bennett. Coventry City trailing at half-time, then forcing their way into the lead with time running out, only to see it taken from them again. Houchin. Regis offside. A lot of relief amongst those connected with Leeds United. Had the flag stayed down, and it was completely clear.
I think that once again illustrated, Martin, that when Coventry are prepared to put the passes in and play some little pockets of good football, how they can cut their way through. And it seems to suit them better than just lumping it, as I said earlier, lumping it down the middle and lumping.
The FA Cup semi-final between Coventry City and Leeds United goes to extra time at Hillsborough. Keith Edwards, 7 minutes from the end, keeping Leeds alive. And only moments after coming on as a substitute in a gamble by Billy Bremner. And that after Coventry had come from behind with second-half goals from Mickey Ginn and Keith Houchin. Dave Rennie had given Leeds the lead at the interval. Well, as the players take a quick break, we will do the same, but you'll miss absolutely nothing. Join us again in just a couple of minutes.
What if one day you found yourself alone in a hostile environment, cold and hunted? Would you give in, or would you survive? Could you act like a professional? Week by week, Combat and Survival will take you inside the world of the professional soldier. Part 1 is at your newsagent now. Combat and Survival. It's a loaded magazine.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him. Oh, no.
My noble Lord Hamlet. Over here, son. On me head.
I bet he drinks Carling Black Label.
Your best bet for a fuller flavour.
Carling Black Label.
This your car, sir?
It's from Canning Car Rental, actually.
Canning, eh? That's a good one. Now, you can't rent the likes of a Rover 820 off them.
Yes, you can. They've got all sorts of cars. They've even got the...
New Montego.
That's right. And with no hidden charges, the only extra you pay for is the, petrol.
Everything seems to be in order. Would you step out the car, please? What for? I've always fancied a go in one of these.
Exclusive cars, inclusive prices. We're cunning at Kenning.
A familiar face on television. She's always in the news, but you know nothing about her. Now read her own remarkable story. Jan Leeming, the private life behind the public smile, exclusively this week in the Daily Express. We compare British education with the rest of the world. Are we really bottom of the class? Lloyd Honeyghan preparing to defend his World Championship title. And Simply Red's Mick Hucknall doing the right thing. The new look Daily Express. Have we got news for you?
Welcome back to Hillsborough, a match to keep everyone on the edge of their seats here, and I'm sure at home as well. 2-2 then, 15 minutes each way of extra time. Roger Milford, who's had a fine game himself, and Ron Atkinson, who's your money on?
At this moment in time, Martin, I'll sit on the fence because there's been that little to choose between them. They both had situations where you thought either of them had won it. And I said earlier, and I'll say it again, it's going to be mental strength now.
Leeds, remember, have used both their substitutes. Coventry still have Steve Sedgley, the 18-year-old midfielder or defender, on the bench. I heard a Grizovic call then, but Phillips was taking no chances. So Tottenham Hotspur still no nearer knowing who they will play at Wembley. McGrath. Ritchie got in. Here's Gin, scuttling away, and he's left Rennie. He just held his position close to the touchline, so he could be found easily, and Day makes a good catch. And you know when Mervyn Day is on top of his game, when he comes for the ball like that with such great purpose. Bear. The linesman has his flag up. Maybe Edwards punting in there around the back post had gone offside.
I think there again you see an illustration of how easy it's been for forwards to get their attempts at goal in. Defenders on both sides, I would say particularly Coventry's, just seem to put themselves between the goal and the ball and not make an attempt to tackle. They haven't been particularly competitive at the back, Coventry.
Was looking for the flick on, but he was a bit off the pace. Kilcline wasn't sure, in the end rather spooned it out of play. Sometimes extra time can be a period of re-entrenchment. Ritchie sweeps in the cross. Edwards, Haddock, who's had a bit of a difficult time since being signed here. There's Keith Edwards. Peter Haddock, the other substitute, came from Newcastle last summer and has had a lot of injuries. Something of a utility man, who originally got in the first team this season at left back. Borrows, Bennett. And Edwards showing he can tackle. Throw from Phillips onto the head, though, of Rennie. Houchin read the ball well as to where it was going to drop. Phillips did very well. Moves his header out. Play on, says the referee, and Coventry a little bit stretched. Ritchie against Peake. Ritchie past Peake. Haddock. It's been a day already for goal-scoring substitutes. Occasion for Haddock. The pass was just a little bit behind him. Mervyn Day has had such a roller coaster career, really. People have tended to forget that he was not the starting choice at the beginning of the season for Leeds, when Billy Bremner brought in Ronnie Sinclair. Marvin Day is nothing if not a fighter. Ritchie against Ginn. Sheridan is there as well. It's a little static in the middle. That's really due to tiredness. And there was no one making a sort of dart away from a marker that can turn a cross into a goal. Ashurst the cross. So many cup stories surrounding the teams in today's game. Ashurst came here as a member of the Sunderland squad for the '73 semi-final. In fact, he wasn't in the lineup in the end and went and watched the game on the Kop with the other Sunderland fans back in 1973. Is he going to get a taste of Wembley this season, or will it be Coventry City, who've never been there before? 7 minutes from a place in the final when Edwards took us into extra time. Regis. Cut out by Adams, who gave it straight back to Burrows. Contest on the field, and a good one off it, Ron, in the best sense between the two sets of fans here in such numbers, and it's pleasing to be able to talk in those terms of the Leeds United followers.
Yes, I would say the best way of describing it, it's like an old-fashioned football match. Lots of colour. I don't mean on the pitch, but particularly the Coventry side.
Well, it is Dave Bennett on the ball, and that was a trip, was it? On Bennett. Free kick to Coventry. And Coventry have deployed their resources on the edge of the area. They've got Kilcline, Regis and Houchin. Phillips just outside the area, and it's Mickey Ginn to take the free kick. Regis, Houchin, and Bennett! Coventry regain the lead. A simple tap-in for David Bennett. And when Ginn clipped it up, Leeds just couldn't defend here. Houchin stabbed at it, Day lost it. Off the goalkeeper, it's Bennett's goal.
Yes, Big Regis does well here to keep the ball in play, just gets it fall off his head and fall into the danger zone. Full marks to Houchin, he shows a sort of poacher's sense of being in there at the right time. And once again, Bennett following up a little scratchings, has managed to give them what would now be a tremendous chance of going through to Wembley.
In front for the second time. 6 minutes left now of the first period of extra time. Have Leeds got anything left? Edwards. Out by McGrath. Ready.
Coventry will have learned from the period of normal time when they were leading. I got the impression then they started just just playing the ball about for playing its sake, thinking it was all 1 or 2-1. Now they've got to keep control of the game, they've got to pass it, but they've also got to play to try and get the 4th goal.
Well, David Bennett has supplied the 3rd, and now in what has been a match of even temper considering the stakes, has now spilt over with Alchin raising his arms and being singled out by Roger Milford.
I think that's frustration more than anything else. I think the Leeds boy, Rennie, I think it was a little bit upset that Houchin picked his foot up a bit high, didn't he? But it could well be, we're looking at Bennett now, he seems as if he's holding the back of his leg, whether sort of cramp and strains are beginning to set in. It's been a very hard afternoon for them, hasn't it, particularly in the sun.
Borrows. Dave Bennett certainly is feeling the stress of the occasion. But he'll soon forget the aches and pains if his goal turns out to be the winner. But I hesitate to say that. We've had so many twists and turns here today. We're going to Wembley from the right-hand goal, behind which the Coventry roar is in splendid voice. Here's Ritchie. He's pulled one rabbit from the hat, making that cross for Edwards.
He would be the running for my man of the match, I think, Ritchie. It was a super game for them. I would think alongside with Bennett and Sheridan.
And for Coventry, Ron?
Well, Bennett. I think Bennett's played very well here. He's made major contributions. He set up one goal and he scored the other.
Sheridan. I'm sure if there was any complacency at the end of normal time which allowed Leeds to get back at 2-2, players will be desperately trying to stop that creeping in again. Tiredness is another consideration altogether. And certainly those showing sign of wear. As Ron said a moment or two ago, it's totally understandable. It's been full-blooded commitment from first whistle to now. A weary stretch from Regis. Is it going to be third time lucky in FA Cup semi-finals for Cyril? By his own admission, he froze in 1978 when Ron Atkinson's West Bromwich Albion were beaten by Ipswich. He was a loser against Queen's Park Rangers in 1982. And he also says he didn't play well that day, but he's played his part today for Coventry, who lead by 3 goals to 2. Handball by Adams, given by the referee on the advice of the linesman, who had a better view of it.
You see Sedgley's warming up for Coventry there, Martin, which must be a temptation to throw him on and possibly bring off young Bennett. But when the lad's such a good player, it's a bit difficult sometimes.
Ashurst. Phillips turned it away from Haddock. What has Bennett got left here? There is help close at hand from Borrows. Regis. And Bennett clearly has fuel still in the tank.
he's one of those players, isn't he? Over the years you've looked at him, even when he was back at Man City, and always thought potentially he could be a really top player. You just see then, all right, he's in the driving seat now and he's demonstrating his ability, but you just see then what good feet he's got.
David Bennett to take the corner. Phillips. We're into the final minute of the first 15 of extra time. Regis, but the linesman is flagging, and I think against Regis. It's half-time in extra time, and the drama unrelenting. Dave Bennett has edged Coventry City back into the lead. It should be a quick change round, and Roger Milford supervising that. Sometimes managers and coaches do get on to get a little word to their wearying troops. Two shouts from the touchline, I'm sure. Billy Bremner, who gathered the cup for Leeds United in 1972, the only time the club has won it, in 4 finals. He played in all 4. But will Leeds mount a recovery here so that he can lead this Leeds United side out at Wembley? It looks difficult, but in the context of this particular game and this occasion, not impossible. If 1 or 2 of the tackles run are a little bit late now, tiredness might be the reason.
Yes, I think the game's been played. We saw one little flare-up before him with Huchin and Rennie, but that's understandable. The game's been played in a tremendous spirit. I would think both managers could be proud of the way the players have played today.
Houchin. It's always said it's the worst place to lose. Steve Sedgley limbering up there. The last Coventry City substitute if required. But it must be that much worse to lose if you haven't performed at all.
No, I mean, the Leeds lads will be disappointed if they should get knocked out, and that might be a bit premature at the moment. But certainly, as I say, I've seen them play a number of times this season. This is definitely the best I've seen them play.
And it does, whatever happens in the 13 minutes that remain here, bode well for their attempts to get promotion at the end of this season. There is one odd little statistic, and they float around, don't they, at this stage in the season at the big games, but Leeds have only ever got promoted 5 times, in fact, they've been promoted in their history, only in leap years, and it's not leap year until next year. Bear. Well, it was a battling run, but a lot of players in white shirts who got up in support to his right. Didn't really look for them.
There's still some playing to be done for Coventry, yes. I mean, that would be their biggest mistake to think they've done it all.
Free kick for a foul by Haddock on Bennett. What Leeds are doing, Ron, I think, is putting Haddock to left back and letting Adams try and get involved further forward on the left-hand side of midfield.
Yeah, well, that'd be twofold, wouldn't it? Because I don't think Adams has been particularly happy trying to deal with Bennett, and I also think his pace up front might just generate something. Obviously, they've got to go for everything they can now.
Adams on the ball here, remember, did score in the quarter-final against Wigan. And he looks to take on Burrows. He probably knows some of those tricks from the Coventry training sessions when they were colleagues at Highfield Road. But Mickey Adams has forced the corner. It seems a long time ago now when Adams took the corner that Rennie scored from, the game's first goal. Over Rennie this time. Mickey Ginn, small of stature, but mighty in the terms of contribution to this game. Tangling with Aspin, the linesman has his flag raised, the referee has blown for a free kick to be taken outside the area. And Neil Aspin, today his 22nd birthday. It should have been his wedding day. That's been put back 2 weeks. His fiancée is here today, and she must have felt for Neil labouring here. And smaller players, Ron, sometimes are very difficult to tackle cleanly.
That's right, plus the fact Ginn is probably, I would think with the exception of maybe Regis, probably the fastest player on the field. Got exceptional pace. And he's actually, you know, to say substitutes can change the course of the game. Both subs have come on and scored goals for either side. But Ginn's contribution overall has been tremendous. He's been busy in midfield. Pickering wasn't at his normal best. I've seen Pickering play a lot better than he did. Maybe whether he's suffering from the effects of an injury. But certainly Ginn's really livened it up.
Houchen. Maybe his biggest problem there was to try and get round Cyril Regis to make the header and direct the header. Some pushing in any case. Less than 10 minutes left for Leeds United. For Coventry City to keep the gallant second division side at bay. Sheridan, Rennie, Aspin. Ritchie ahead of Hill. I'm sure it was part of the Leeds thinking for Ritchie to be deployed to run at Greg Downs. I mean, maybe Ron is not the best defensive left-back in the First Division.
No, I must confess, you were saying earlier what John Sillett said about his two full-backs when he took over. There's always been this theory that both Burrows and Greg Downs are get-atable. And yet, until today, I haven't really seen anybody exploit Greg Downs this season.
I think that's partly because Nick Pickering, the regular left-side midfield player who is an auxiliary left-back as well, holds just in front of him. They've lost that through Pickering's injury here, but as you were saying, how well Ginn has done. Ritchie. Baird. Edwards couldn't force away between the two anchormen in midfield, McGrath and Phillips. And here comes Sheridan. Adams. Kilcline drawn out of the middle, where Edwards and Baird are waiting. Haddock. And Bennett is everywhere. And David Bennett might have to do a little bit more defending before this match is over. With Adams pushed on now. Foul by Ashurst on Regis. A little bit more time for Coventry. Taking nothing away from the Leeds achievements here under John Sillett's coaching. He's very much in charge of the football side of the club, while George Curtis is the managing director. Coventry have become very much a people's team. A lot of romantics amongst football fans who perhaps get a little bit tired of the same clubs winning the trophies, and I have to say that carefully with the ex-Manchester United manager alongside me, who gathered silverware at Wembley in his time. But it is nice to see different players getting a slice of the big time. And Coventry City here are so close to going to Wembley for the first time. Houchin. Easily past Ormsby. And he's shown a trick or two, but maybe in the First Division haven't been always on display. There's something about the FA Cup and Keith Houchin that go hand in glove.
One thing's for sure, Martin, nobody's covered more ground today in the cause of his team than Houchin.
Kilcline.
And scored a quality goal into the bargain.
Ritchie, who does look tired now. Aspin, who had cramp a minute or two ago. Sheridan. No worries for Grizovic. A tower of strength. Beaten twice, but at least two saves that really deserve to be remembered as long as the goals run.
Yes, I mean, you sort of got a feeling then that although they went one down, they could have been down and out in the first quarter now, couldn't they, but for the big fella in between the sticks. The other thing you wonder about is Coventry, if they do go through to Wembley, and we don't attempt fate too early, whether it's a bit of a worry for David down there, because Coventry nearly always win their last game of the season, albeit usually to stay in the First Division.
And they have beaten Tottenham at Highfield Road this season in a match, I should imagine, that matched this one for the intensity of the excitement. It finished 4-3. Over the years at Hillsborough, there have been some quite incredible finales to FA Cup semi-finals. The last one here had a late penalty episode when Glenn Hoddle was adjudged by referee Clive Thomas to have tripped Kenny Hibbett of Wolves. The penalty was converted and that went to another match. Before then, Peter Storey made a great contribution for Arsenal in their double year. Hillsborough semi-final with late goals. And the only way really for Coventry to be sure of easing their anxieties is to get another one. Ritchie and McGrath exchanging a Sunday afternoon comment. That wasn't about share prices. Away as far as Haddock. Irving Day will look to kick the ball long, and he can do that. Leeds with 4 forward. Baird. Here's Houchin. Sent tumbling by a frustrated Adams. Roger Milford has to step in. Coventry City, 20 consecutive seasons in the First Division, but 15 of the previous 19 they finished in the bottom half, including the last 7 years. It's been a tense old time at Highfield Road. Some of the game's glory coming their way. Not if Andy Ritchie has a say about it. Sheridan. Aspin. And Edwards. Another great save by Grizovic, who slung himself at the feet of Keith Edwards and protected Coventry City's lead, which looked about to go up in a puff of smoke. Grizovic is there again, and it's sensibly used, and Leeds are stretched. Ginn, this is David Phillips, and Haddock stayed back, and they needed him, did Leeds. instant, it might have been 3-3, and then it could easily have been 4-2 to Coventry, but for Haddock. Bennett.
I think, if anything, Martin, that was a better save than either of the ones he made in the first quarter or now.
Certainly the timing of it was more significant, Ron. Well, Leeds finding it hard to reclaim the ball. Bennett using up a few more seconds. Smiles in the crowd. They must have come up here from the West Midlands. And David Rennie, who gave Leeds the lead way back in the 14th minute with that free kick right down by his own corner flag. Sheridan. Baird. Well, it was Adams hoping that it would dip for him. And what a story that would have been. It's the club with which he started the season. Brian Clough's most famous saying, I think, is that it only takes a second to score a goal. But there are only a few of those precious seconds left for Leeds United. Grizovic, is that a hint of a smile because he knows the job is done? And if it is done, and when it's finally done, so much of it is down to him. A late tackle by Rennie stops Hampchin from making progress. Roger Milford has looked at his watch. He's looked towards the linesman. It's any second now. Adams, Peak. And Regis chases. And that will suit Coventry. Ormsby can only hack the ball into the crowd. Coventry City on the brink. There will be an explosion of noise here at Hillsborough, particularly from the Cop end. And here it comes. Coventry City with John Sillett, the abiding influence, the chief coach, have gone through to the FA Cup final for the first time in a history that stretches back 104 years. Sporting gesture from Billy Bremner, whose team performed so gallantly and led at half-time and came back to force the semi-final into extra time. George Curtis, the managing director there, and John Sillett have rebuilt the club at Highfield Road. Their supporters know now they have a team to reckon with. Cyril Regis, at the third time of asking, is successful in an FA Cup semi-final. David Bennett with to those commentary heroes as well. Don't go away.
Want to see the Flymo Sprintmaster with grass collection? Want to see it again? Why slow-mo when you can fly-mo?
For 1987, Ford introduced an improved Sierra hatchback. A better Sierra Estate. And a brand new Sierra Sapphire Saloon. The new Sierras go like they look. They're better equipped. They've loads of space. And even features like anti-lock brakes are available. The Ford Sierras for 1987. Now, we're three.
Making a real impression has never been easier, because there's one name behind some of the most exciting home fashion ideas you've ever seen. A name that can give you a totally coordinated look in home furnishings, wall coverings, ceramics, and so much more.
Very nice.
Why, thank you. And the name? Colour Roll, of course.
From the moment you're born, electricity is working for you in its own unique way, shaping your life and the world around you, powering the latest advances in technology and science, along with countless ways of making life easier and more enjoyable. Everything from big screen entertainment and making a home to small screen reassurance and the making of memories. All through your life, electricity, energy for life.
Searching, terrific, action-packed, rewarding.
Britain's liveliest daily, take the Star.
Welcome back, and what an incredible semi-final, David. So now you know Coventry at Wembley.
Yeah, compulsive viewing that. It was a tremendous game. Coventry just edged it. Leeds fought tremendously hard. But in the end, I think Coventry just showed a little bit more composure, a little bit more quality in a few more positions, and looks a good final on paper.
Yeah, well, the substitution actually turned it, I would think, for Coventry when they brought little Mickey Ginn on, because he had such an influence in the game, didn't he?
He did. He got the pace that Pickering hadn't got, although he didn't give him the width that Pickering, but...
And, of course, he scored that all-important equalising first goal. But David Bennett here, who fought for the ball with the centre-half, you actually thought that possibly, you know, the defender should have won that one.
Yeah, Ormsbury, if he'd have known Bennett better, he might not have done that, but he's very good at doing that, pulling it back from the byline. And Ginn kept calm. I mean, that was so important to them to get back into that second half as quick as possible.
Because at that time, you know, as we say, 1-0 Leeds, they looked in charge in the game again, didn't they? They sort of got to grips with it in the second half.
Yeah, the one goal, the advantage was just holding them there. They were battling, they were working. I thought the boy up front made some terrific runs for them on the right-hand side. Sheridan played balls through well, as I say, Richie ran well. But Coventry, as the game wore on, they showed a slight difference in quality.
Yes, I did. Well, I thought the strength, you know, we talked about the strength of Coventry pre-match, and I think the strength actually told in the end, didn't it? You know,
yes,
as I said, Jin came on, did some little bits of magic, and then Big Houchin, who battled away up the front there, he got that all-important second goal.
Yeah, once again, I think Ormsby there was rather rash with that challenge. I don't know what he was kicking out at, and Houchin was kept very calm. I mean, he looked up, he knew exactly what he had to do. Must have been a great, tremendous feeling for him when he put that one in.
Yeah.
And when Coventry got in front like that, you couldn't see them losing it. And, of course, Leeds rallied with that fantastic finish in ordinary time.
And then that was it into the extra time. And but I always felt, going into the extra time, David, that this, you know, the extra sort of First Division class, if you like, would tell in the end. And, of course, they finally got the winner. Now, David Bennett, for me, had an outstanding game.
Yes, he did. He's got a lot of quality. He's quick, he can beat people. And he won that free kick, of course, for them. And when it was floated over, Regis's power in the air enabled Bennett to get in after Houchin had done the spade work there for the goal which will send them into raptures tonight. It's fantastic for Coventry. I mean, Sillett and Curtis, I mean, fantastic. They call them the power and the gory. They've done tremendous. It's
well, they have said, actually, that their name's on the cup.
Yes, it's frightening, that, isn't it? They've said that right from the start. But to be fair to them, I think they deserve to get to Wembley. They've had the most dramatically good results. They won away at Stoke, and as you said earlier, Manchester United. Really good, sound results. Yeah. And I'm sure they'll go to Wembley on the day believing they can win it.
Well, they're down in the dressing room at the moment, Dave. I'm sure enjoying themselves, and we'll join them after this break.
ID, module, belt, phaser, and helmet.
Introducing the ultimate game on planet Earth, Photon.
Intruder alert, intruder alert.
Now you can hear and see when he's hit electronically. The one and only Photon. He's beaten. It's the ultimate challenge from the ultimate game, Photon.
What are the Never Never terms?
Probably not as good as Gyrobank's personal loan.
And how am I going to run it?
A FlexiPlan account. The money's there for insurance, tax, repairs.
Yeah, but what about petrol?
Loves it, Dennis. And with a Gyrobank Visa card, you can drive from here to Timbuktu.
Oh, very convenient.
National Gyrobank. Credit's simply more convenient.
Hello, Mum, I'm back.
Hello, Pat. How's college?
Oh, it's a doddle.
That smells good. I'm starving.
All right, you.
When it comes to the whole family's wash, Persil Automatic in your machine guarantees outstanding results. Wash after wash.
Right then, I'm off.
Bye, Pat.
You find that stuff?
Stuff? What stuff?
Well, I left a few things.
Oh, that was yours.
Aye.
Filthy. I thought it was to be thrown out.
Hey? Hey, you joking? Well, that was all me stuff, me kits, everything. Mom.
Oh, well. Lucky I washed it then, isn't it?
Snap, 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 snap. The lightest, the crunchiest. Don't get your walkers in a twist. Snap, 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 snap. Walkers are leader, a real face feeder. They melt and please, real tasty geezer. Snap, 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 snap.
Rich and creamy. It makes all fabrics flow beautifully. It makes softness deep and surprising. It gives new vitality to each and every fiber. Makes colors sing and fly. That's comfort.
Chic, unique Ferrero Rocher. With a fresh, utterly delicious taste, have a golden moment every day with Ferrero Rocher.
Hello again. Right, let's go down to the dressing room where John Helm has the 3 goal scorers with him.
Yeah, certainly. Plenty of champagne being drunk in the dressing room here. And the 3 goal scorers, Dave Bennett, Mickey Ginn, an appropriate name today, I would think, and Keith Houchin. Mickey, you'd not been on long, of course, when you came up with the first goal.
That's right. Well, I knew if we were a goal down half an hour to go that I'd be given the chance, and that's the way it worked out.
Can you see him down there? Yeah, just about, Paddy, I think, Keith. Now, this... the fairy tale at Hillsborough goes on for you, doesn't it, Keith?
Yeah, I thought I'd got the winner, to be quite honest. I didn't think they were going to come back. And what was devastating when they scored, I mean, the thought of extra time killed me. I don't know about the rest of the lads. But we were playing really well at the time, and we thought Leeds had gone a little bit. And Reynolds got the goal just at the right time. Brilliant.
It must have been a real signal, though, when Leeds equalised with just a couple of minutes to go.
Well, your legs have gone, and you're looking towards the end, and you've got to dredge it all up and start all over again. But we come out winners, so it was all right in the end.
Well, Dave, I just heard you saying, actually, you kept laying on the goals for the others, but in the end you had to score one yourself.
Yeah, it's turned out nice. I don't mind who scored the winner. It turned out I scored the winner, so I'm glad. I'm pleased for the lads and everything, and the fans. It's brilliant. Great occasion to score the winner, so I'm over the moon.
Were you singing in the dressing room before the game again, as you were here before?
Yes,
when you were
we all did. Must admit, we were a bit quiet at half-time. We were singing before we started.
We were singing before we started. We were a bit quiet at half-time, but we were singing at the end, so it's an happy ending.
You just want the final to be played here at Hillsborough now, I suspect.
Well, this was a lot like Wembley, I thought. We went out there today, and the lads were saying it's just like being at Wembley today. This was our cup final. I mean, anything else now is just a bonus.
Yeah. And Tottenham in the final. What are the chances then, Mickey?
Well, the game we had against them at our place, 4-3, which we won. If it's a game like that, I think the fans will be well happy with that.
Yeah. Right, well done, lads. And coming up behind you now, John Sillett and George Curtis.
Thank you.
The double act. They're not drinking, though. I've just seen George covered in champagne. John, I think you deserve that. You've died once or twice today out there.
It's been nerve-wracking, I've got to say that. But at the same time, you've got to have belief. We had great belief in our boys. And the one thing we wanted them to do was to play football in the second half and not to get involved in a battle and just pumping the ball up. And we started to just pump it in there for a spell, and I wasn't very happy. But then suddenly we got the grips with it and started to do it again. Mickey Ginn made a big difference in as much he's a runner with the ball, and he started to turn defence into attack very quickly.
George, you've known the bad times at Coventry City. Does this make up for them all?
Well, nothing makes up for bad times, but what you've got to give the lads credit today, the character was there when they go one down from a corner, which, you know, it was a bad goal to give away. They fought back, they went 2-1 up, went level again, and they fought back again. You've got to give them the credit where it's due, and this is the difference between the Coventry that's been there the last 5 or 6 years and the Coventry now. You know, they're willing to go out there and die.
You've said, John, all along, haven't you? You felt that Coventry's name was written on the cup this year.
You get this feeling in life. You know, I've been there, I mean in football a long time with George, and we just had that feeling this was going to be our year. We're a lucky couple of fellas, really, aren't we?
Yeah, very
lucky until you see our wives.
That's right.
And then I don't know what went wrong there.
We're lucky to have a squad of players like this which respond to John and myself. You know, we're so happy about it, and we're pleased for them, really.
Can you quite believe that Coventry City are going to Wembley yet?
We know we can believe it because we won 3-2 today. So the fact is that we will be playing Spurs at Wembley.
You must have felt a little bit for Leeds there, John.
Well, we went in, George and I, into the dressing room, and I suppose it's very hard. It could have been us. And I just felt for them, little Mickey Adams especially, you know, being that he was at our club and left us. But at the same time, we're Coventry City, and we're proud to be there, and we feel privileged to be at the helm and steer the old boat up Wembley Way.
George, John, many congratulations. It's been a great day for everybody at Coventry. Thanks very much indeed. With that, back to you, Ian.
OK, thanks very much, John. And I thought Big George was getting a bit emotional there.
I think they're entitled to be. I think they've had a hell of a crack this season, haven't they? And they've come up trumps at the end with a cup final. It's wonderful for them.
And it's marvellous. Well, as I say, Dave, now you know who you've got to play. I mean, will you lose any sleep thinking about Coventry?
No, because I think it'll be a game for the public. I can only relate to the second half at Coventry City this season when they beat us 4-3 in the final minutes, where they never accepted when they got in front and never closed the door. They kept going for more goals, and we did the same. and it was a wonderfully open game, finishing 4-3.
That's right, I was at the game, actually.
Second half.
Yeah, no, I think if we get a cup final, anything remotely like that, it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah. Well, they played an open game this afternoon. There was very little offsides in this game today. They play a passing game. They play to the players' strengths. There's a chance they might concede a goal, although they've got an excellent goalkeeper who, in the vital first 10 minutes of the game today and the vital last couple of minutes, pulled them out of trouble.
OK, Dave, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you there, sir. But anyway, as I say, it's Coventry versus Spurs, May the 16th. It should be a cracker. Goodbye.
Good luck to get you this.
Dan Collymore.
Collymore. Rush. That's nice. Here goes Collymore. McManaman in the middle. But John Pemberton doesn't lack for pace either. It was a hefty challenge.